Hi, this is Lee Simmons, and the stereotype that I have chosen from the Gorilla Girls book, Bitches, Bimbos, and Ball Breakers, is the femme fatale, or the vamp, which I will be comparing to the 2016 horror comedy film, The Love Witch. The femme fatale, or vamp, is signified as a dangerous woman, a temptress. The femme fatale is a beautiful woman who is shown to be evil and conniving with the sole desire of seducing men and ultimately causing their destruction. The femme fatale is only interested in the virility of the men she entices, casting them aside when her sexual desires are not met or are inconvenienced. There are many examples of the femme fatale throughout history and folklore, although many are just painted to be that way. The Guerrilla Girls have acknowledged a few in their book, such as Cleopatra, Salome, Delilah, and the Sirens of Ancient Greece. In the film The Love Witch, the lead character, Elaine, is a young woman who moves to a new town in search of her one true love, and she uses witchcraft in order to achieve that goal. She unintentionally kills the men that she enchants, her love magic being too much for them. Elaine is a great contemporary iteration of the femme fatale, and with the film being from her perspective, her past traumas come through, showing that she does not act this way just to fit the role of the temptress or the villain, but that she is an emotionally raw woman seeking validation using her magical skills in order to find the validation and adoration that she seeks. Since these encounters do not occur naturally, they're doomed to fail, and Elaine ends up becoming more of a victim than a villain. Visually, Elaine is the opposite of the stereotype of the dark, seductive woman, usually wearing moderately covered clothing in her 1960s attire of sweaters and frilly blouses, only airing for seduction when she trusts her interests, but more so as her search for love becomes more desperate later on in the film. Her clothing is lined in a rainbow fabric, something that she states in the film as showing her true colors when she reveals herself to her interests. This detail separates herself from the stereotype of the femme fatale because she bears her true and vulnerable self to her romantic partners, not only seeking them out as sexual partners. Whereas the traditional vamp character would never do such a thing unless it was used as a trick to entice. The narrative of this film depicts Elaine's story, and to some extent, you're expected to empathize with her struggles while also seeing her as the femme fatale stereotype at times. Her character is complex, never entirely fitting into one role, which is why I feel that she is a femme fatale made for female and queer femme people. Elaine is a woman that stands against the idea of the woman who is moved by the winds of fate. Elaine actively uses her strengths to achieve her goals and not be overpowered. Her story is more that of a woman who's trying to thrive in a male dominated life, seeking to be one with the divine and find the loving validation that empowers her, only falling into the femme fatale role when the tragedies of the unintentional deaths she caused endanger her. Elaine could be seen possibly as the bridge between the traditional femme fatale vamp character and the camp vamp, like Elvira. She stands as a relatable character for femme people, hoping to overcome their trauma and overcome the subordination that has been placed upon them by men. While her character functions as a femme fatale written for femme people, she still does sit very comfortably in the role of the femme fatale, often becoming the unfeeling temptress when the men she enchants do not meet her expectations. She's often trying to embody herself as the object of affection instead of the person inside. But while Elaine does not fully break out of the stereotype of the femme fatale, she stands out as a reclamation of that role, made into a believable character that the viewer is meant to be empathetic to instead of seeing her solely as just a villain. She's a real character. She's a believable person, not a stereotype. Thank you.